and welcome to FilmPeaks, where we climb the summit to see where film peaks or valleys. Since this is a brand new movie, I'm going to keep it spoiler free until the end, where I'm going to add a riff section where I show my score and give some thoughts about some things. If you'd like to leave your own review, you can check out the app FilmPeaks, which is on the iOS store or Android store, and it's free. Let's begin the ascent. So I just saw Sendhelp. It's interesting the way this movie is talked about alongside Iron Lung, with who's going to bring home the #1 box office numbers pretty much every day for the past 2 weeks. And I do have a video on Iron Lung if you're interested, but there are certain contexts that apply different weights whenever I'm judging a film. I will judge a movie that costs $100+ million way harsher than I will a movie that costs like $5. And in this case, Iron Lung cost $3 million, whereas Sendhelp cost a supposedly $40 million. Granted, Iron Lung is a single location film, but it is also something kind of new and fresh, and I do think it is very difficult to make a great single location film. Furthermore, Iron Lung, it was self-financed, has no distributors, it's completely indie. Sendhelp, while good, we'll get to that, doesn't entirely deliver anything new per se. It's something that we've all kind of seen before, but with the Sam Raimi polish on top of it. With this particular race, I think Iron Lung kind of wins, given the criteria presented, but both are good. So as mentioned, it is directed by Sam Raimi, who I'm sure you're familiar with. He's directed other films such as the Spider-Man trilogy, Drag Me to Hell, Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, and so on. He gave us my generation's Spider-Man, just like my generation's Bond is Pierce Brosnan. There are some other good ones out there, but others came first. So, if you know Sam Raimi, you know that he loves two things: screaming women when they're under duress, and gross stuff being tossed in people's faces. And here you get both. So picture during any of the Spider-Mans, Mary Jane, anytime she's in trouble, how much she screams. Or think about in Drag Me to Hell, whenever she's holding up the corpse of the dead old lady and there's like bugs and goo getting into her mouth and all that. So Sendhelp stars Rachel McAdams alongside Dylan O'Brien. It's kind of an interesting role for her to pick because she really only chooses about one role per year at this point. She's big enough that she's made it. She doesn't really have to do that much anymore. Furthermore, it's kind of impossible to make Rachel McAdams seem unattractive. And she's supposed to play this kind of like cringe, weirdo girl, which she does capture perfectly. But by the time we're done transitioning from the office to the beach, you know, she's looking better than ever. And by the end of the film, I'm saying to her, Rachel, let me be your Mr. McAdams. And I feel like Dylan O'Brien was kind of on the precipice of really making it big in Hollywood after the Maze Runner movies, but he did kind of fizzle out for a while. So it is cool to see him have sort of a comeback with things such as Saturday Night, Caddo Lake, and now this. And his role in the movie, his maniacal laugh, just really brings it home. Now again, this is Sam Raimi, so there is going to be a thin layer of cheese on top. The comedic bits hit. The people in my theater were full on belly laughing at some parts. It's no secret that this film is a survival, stranded on an island type of scenario, but I think they did a pretty good job of explaining why people are in the places that they are. It's not really a coincidence where, you know, it's not just, oh, they were on the same flight together and stuff happened, so the plane crashed. I also like how the survival skills are explained. You'll see what I'm talking about. Now, I'm trying to be vague here, but there are some typical things that happen in the movie. Given certain situations in certain scenarios, you'll be shown certain things and be like, oh, it's like that. But it does not detract from the movie. It's still fun. Dylan and Rachel play really well opposite of each other. You know, Dylan is the dickhead boss who holds all the power. Rachel's the underappreciated hard worker, but on the island, those roles are reversed. One thing I noticed, there is a scene where they're going for a walk and there's a cliff shown far in the distance, and they're like, oh, it's just up there. and then it just kind of cuts to them being on top of this cliff. I think that would take like hours and miles to get there, but we're here for entertainment's sake. I'll look past it. The only major complaint I have is there's possibly too many instances of unforgivable acts given a scenario that is pure survival that is just kind of forgiven. You'll see what I mean in the riff section. Again, I'm trying to be vague here. And you might have seen on social media and partially in the trailer too, there is a scene with a boar, and that is this film's defining scene. Now, given the stranded island concept, there's only so many ways that you can resolve this, and I think they did that in a decent manner. It's what I expected. Now, as mentioned, there are a couple coincidental things that happen throughout the film that I kind of eye rolled, but I think in this case, for entertainment's sake, I can look past that. The tension is palpable, the comedy scenes hit, the gore is gross, and the cringeworthy parts did have me physically uncomfortable. With this one, you're in for a good ride. All right, so I'm about to show my score up here. If this is where you hop off, I'd just like to thank you for making it this far. Again, you can find the app if you want to leave your own review on the iOS or Android store. It's free. It's called FilmPeaks. Go check it out. But okay, I'm about to give you the score here. It's coming up. This is your warning. Go. All right, so I'm going to show my score here for a few seconds. If you want to jump off before the riff section, that's fine. All right, into the riff section. From the beginning, I think they did a banger job of making Rachel McAdams seem really cringe and awkward. Like, this had to have been a fun project for her. Same thing with Dylan O'Brien being the dickhead boss and just treating everybody like shit. And again, that laugh that he does. So I think I'll give the beginning 8.0. I really enjoyed it. And whenever we get to the plane crash section, I didn't expect it to be that funny. And I think they did a good enough job of making it a believable crash into the ocean where it kind of skips along a little bit instead of just kind of smacking into the ocean. So I'm going to give that section an 8.0 as well. In the midsection, however, with all the unforgivable acts from Dylan O'Brien, such as him making the raft and trying to escape the island and stealing supplies and all that, there's only so much that I would have put up with if I was in a straight up survival situation. But given the fact that later on we find out that the house existed on the island and there's plenty of supplies and water and all that stuff for Rachel McAdams to go grab, whatever. But while I'm watching it, given it at the time, I would have given the score of that section a 6.5. And the build up to the final fight, that's decent enough. There's a lot of instances of, oh, do they actually like each other? Is Dylan O'Brien coming around to falling in love with her or whatever? Or is he just lying to try to bring her along and kill her at some point? And it turns out that he is. But the eye gouge scene, that was pretty gross. I think I would have liked it if she kept her eye, being gone, but I'll forgive it. The way that Dylan O'Brien finds his dead fiance, like with the arm sticking out, with the ring on the finger perfectly there, that was a little cheesy. And the location of the body being like miles from the cliff that she was thrown off of, again, was a little cheesy. But I'll look past it for entertainment's sake. We're not here for realism. And the shotgun at the end not being loaded was a little bit silly. Because then she would have planned for him to obtain the shotgun from her at some point so that there could be that shock moment of like, oh shit, it's not loaded. But hey, I was entertained. I'll look past it. And the whole transition from the golf scene at the end going into the resolution, I liked. So I'll give the climax a 7.5. I think it would be tough to explain to the public the events of what happened in such a way to make it out scot-free, especially since the fiance and the boat guy both disappeared shortly before she would have been rescued. But we're shown that she's smart and resourceful, so we just have to believe that she would be able to make it through that. And the rest of the end is pretty typical, but I do like the callback to the Blondie song as she's driving along the highway. So, it's nothing spectacular, but it was an all right ending. So we're going to wrap it up with a 7.0. So what did you think? Is Sam Raimi still at his peak? Does Send Help deserve to win the race against Iron Lung? Let me know what you think. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the top.